This is Shvetashvatara Upanishad, and we are on chapter 4. Did I finish the last line? Shubhaya Smritya Samyanukta?
Yes?
Yes?
Swamini.
Oh, good.
Is it possible to review that one?
Sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You know why I'm laughing is because even if we do the next one, it's like reviewing that one because we just deal with one thing. So yes, we'll absolutely review it. Hello Shanti.
Namaskar.
Oh, come. Shall we begin? Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunatu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we'll start with the first chapter. Ya eko varno bahudha shakti yogad. Ya eko varno bahudha shakti yogad. Varnananeka nihitartho dadhati. Varnananeka nihitartho dadhati. Vijaiti jante vishvamadau cha devaha. Vijaiti jante vishvamadau cha devaha. Sano buddhya shubhaya samyunaktu. Sano buddhya shubhaya samyunaktu. So we have seen this, just to review. There is only one thing, as I said. And what is that one thing? That one thing is being described here. And what is that one thing? Avarnaha. Colorless means formless. And this one thing without color has given rise to all the colors in the universe. How? Magic. And that is, that is what this whole thing is about. And so this one colorless thing, and this thing which is oneself, that consciousness which is all free of form, free of color, free of name, has given rise to so many names, so many forms, and neither has it become thin and small and emaciated in the process of creating this entire Jagat, nor has it become colored in the process. Neither of those things happen. It's not affected by what it creates, just like you are not affected by the dream that you project. Really speaking, the creation is more of a manifestation. So this manifestation and demanifestation is being talked about here. This chapter is very important. And if you tell me that's what I said about the previous chapter, I stand guilty as charged. But this particular is my favorite chapter because both the vision and the Sarvatma Bhava means that oneness is talked about repeatedly. And that two-ness in the sense of myself and the Jagat, that inner split, the as though split which stops me from seeing that everything as one, seeing everything as Bhagavan, Ishvara, including this body, mind, sense complex and the seer, that also is discussed. So it's a very beautiful chapter for these reasons. The third chapter was beautiful also for other reasons. So ekaha avarnaha. Bahudha means in many ways it has come up, it has, so to speak, quote unquote, heavy quotes, become many. And having become many, what has it done? How has it become many? Shakti Yoga, through that power. That power is the feminine power, the goddess power. The goddess is the one who creates. Without goddess, there is no creation. And without goddess, there is no Ishvara, really. The goddess force is what makes Brahman into Ishvara. And that Shakti Yoga is a pun here, a word play, because of Shakti one meaning, and in conjunction with Shakti another meaning. Conjoined as it were with this Shakti, which is not a parallel reality, but it is a what is that called? A Kalpita Shakti. And as though Shakti that is there, and Varnan Anekan Nihitartho Dadati, colors up the whole universe and colors up the whole thing. Why? We don't know Nihitartha. And why do we say we don't know creation? Why the creation is? Because we really don't know. What is the purpose of creation? We can give so many reasons. To entertain us, or to, pinch us on the sides and make us cry. Or what are the other reasons for creation? If you get all pedantic, you can say to exhaust the karma of the jivas. And you can, if you want to get liberated, you can say, what karma? What jivas? What creation? And then you sound like the real thing. Yeah. Not Coca-Cola, but yeah, even the truth of Coca-Cola, that real thing. And, because really speaking, there is no creation. From the standpoint of what we are talking about, there is no creation. So therefore, if there is a creation that I am interacting with, that is sometimes pinching me and sometimes making me laugh, then that means what? We don't know the purpose, why it is manifest and why it appears as separate from myself. I don't know. So Nihitartha means for, her own unscrutable reasons, this Jagat is as though manifest. And then what? Vichayati cha ante, the cha is in the middle. Vichayati is not some verb. Don't look for, in the dhatu patha. Yeah. Eti is the word. Vi-eti, Vi-eti means swallows up, resolves. Cha means and also not only it projects, it dissolves, it resolves unto itself, eats it all up. What is this? Vishwa. That same Jagat which was projected in the beginning is eaten up at the end. By who? This effulgent being. Who is that effulgent being? You. Oh, me? Oh, that's cool. Exactly. That's why we like the 4th chapter. Yeah. And so this consciousness, that self-effulgent consciousness is called Devaha, Divyatmakatvat, because it is, compared to a light. And may this light of knowledge, may this light of consciousness give me good buddhi. Shubhaya buddhya samyunaktu. And we have seen many meanings of that, very deep. Shubhaya buddhya samyunaktu. May it join me along with my buddhi. Why should it join me with my buddhi? Because my buddhi has taken leave without permission. Without, asking, can I leave you? It has left. That's why we say, have you taken leave of your senses? Have you lost your mind? These are all universal phrases, no matter in which language, which show that the buddhi, more or less permanently has bid goodbye. So then, without the buddhi, how do I act? Animalistically, impulsively. This is a very impulsive behavior. And what is the impulsive behavior? What I feel like I do, when I feel like I do, when I don't feel like I don't. Including attending classes. So this is what is called, this buddhi is always a wall, absent without taking a leave, correct? Absent without permission. And so therefore, I call it back in this. The first mantra is appropriately a prayer to search for the lost buddhi. Kidnapped by ragadveshas and held captive by atma ajnanam. That's what it is. So the buddhi has been abducted, hijacked. And so most of the time I'm like, just barely able to just be with even the duality and, with great difficulty. And this buddhi I want to call back, and you have to pay a heavy ransom. It's not going to come for free. You have to bundle up all the ragadveshas that you own in a box and then what? Give it to the kidnapper, which is Ajnanam. And then Ajnanam will say, okay, and then it will release the buddhi and then say, wait a minute, what happened here? I got fooled. And so therefore this buddhi to have is a very, very important thing without which I am lost. And so I pray here that may this Deva, this Bhagavan, which is really myself, and because I don't know, I call it Bhagavan, and because I don't know, I miss myself, and I miss Bhagavan too, and so therefore I pray to Bhagavan, may I be united with my buddhi. May it become one with me. Because as though the buddhi has gone. That is the problem. That is the reason why there is suffering. Because there is no viveka and there is no vairagya. And so there is all kinds of misunderstanding, starting with a misunderstanding of oneself. So that was the first verse. Second one, now we will do the second one. Tadevagnistadaadityah Tadvayustadu-chandramaha Tadeva shukram tad-brahma Tadapastat-prajapatihi Tvam stri tvam pumanasi tvam Kumaraha utava kumari Tvam jirno dandena vanchasi Tvam jato bhavasi vishvato mukhaha Neelav patango harito lohitakshaha Tadid garbharitavas samudraha Anadimatvam vibhutvena vartase Yato jatani bhuvanani vishva Yeah. These three go together. And it's a nice change because the Shvetashvatara is so klishta. Klishta means it's so full of meanings that we have been progressing. To say that we have been progressing at a snail's pace is what? Is a euphemism. We have been going slower than that. Oh. So, it's a nice change because now suddenly the pace has picked up. 3 at one time we have never done. 1 for 3 classes, yes, many times. But 3 at one, 3 in 1, oh my God, So, then what else is there here? We have this whole very, very beautiful set of 3 verses. And what are these verses? They are talking of what is called Sarvatma Bhava. So, Sarvatma Bhava means the truth. The truth of this Atma, I, being everything. So that everything is talked about from a very, what's the word for it? From a very Atmiyata, from a very intimate standpoint. So, verse number 2 is interesting. It first starts with the elements and the celestial beings. So, tad eva agnihi, that Brahman, that Deva, who has been asked to give me the buddhi back. And once the buddhi is back, this is what we see in the next 3 verses. Now that the buddhi is back, we can enjoy the universe from the standpoint of these verses. Tadeva agnihi. Yeah, Tadeva Agnihi. That alone is the fire, 5 elements. Tad Adityaha. That is the sun. Tad Vayuhu. That is indeed the wind. Tad U Chandramaha. That is indeed the moon. Tadeva Shukram. Shukram here means the all the things beyond one's reach, and also you can say like the black hole, the galaxies, the horizons, or you can also say that indeed is the essence of the whole entire creation. The whole entire creation has its essence in this alone. Tadeva Shukram Tad Brahma. That indeed is Brahman. That is what we call Brahman, which is in the form of the stars, the moons, the moon, the sun, the 5 elements. And then the Tad Apaha, that indeed is the water that was left out. And Tat Prajapatihi. Prajapati is important here because one of the celestials, which means who is this celestial? The celestial is the one who is the teacher. Prajapati is the teacher. The teacher, the celestial teacher. And so not only is all the 5 elements everything. This Bhagavan alone is the 5 elements, and this Bhagavan alone is the teacher who teaches us that everything is indeed one. Tadeva Shukram Tad Brahma. And this Brahman, who should teach us about this Brahman? A teacher manifestation known as Prajapati, who teaches about this Brahman. Tadeva Shukram Tad Brahma. Tadeva, Tad Apaha Tad Prajapatihi. Not much else to say. This is just all this whole thing about being Sarvatma. All the things are nothing but this alone. Now this talked about in the second verse, this, that, this, that becomes you. How did that become you? Because the next one is what? Tvam Stri, Tvam Pumanasi, Tvam Kumaraha, Utava Kumari. You. Tvam means you, correct? Everybody knows that. So Tvam, and then Tvam Jirnaha, Dandena Vanchasi, Tvam Jataha, Bhavasi Vishwato Mukhaha. So you are indeed everything. First, that was indeed everything. And when I use the word that, it's always a little removed from me, correct? But when I address you are right there. So here it shows a kind of an evolution on part of the student. First, you pray for the buddhi to be given back. Thank God. The buddhi has come back. Now I see everything as that. The that becomes you, and finally the you becomes what? I. This is how it is progressing. So this is, now it is you. So now I am face to face with everything and say that really speaking, you alone is the man, you alone are the woman. You alone is the youth, masculine, Kumaraha. You alone is the youth, feminine, Kumari. And then what about the old man walking around, hobbling around, old man or old woman hobbling around with a cane? That is also you. Tvam Jirnaha. You are here dilapidated. Are you really dilapidated? No. The undilapidated you is projected here in a dilapidated way. Dandena vanchasi, with the help of your stick, you kind of creep along, you plod along, You plod along, and then what happens? Tvam jataha, you unborn one is as though born. And when you are born, how are you? Vishwato mukhaha. You are facing everywhere. You have so many faces and so many facets that there is not a single direction where I look and I don't find your face. So then there is a very interesting question. Am I Vishwato Mukhaha or are you Vishwato Mukhaha? But here the person is only saying you are Vishwato Mukhaha because I turn, and when I turn to the east, I find you. When I turn back to the west, I find your face. north, south, your face, and these are just the cardinal directions. Then you have the other 4 non-cardinal directions, your face, your face, your face, your face, your face. And then what? Up, you, down, you. All 10 directions. Wherever I see you. So you who are born, and born should be in heavy quotes, you who are born, the unborn one is as though born, and then what? And then you are all over the place. Wherever I look, I find your face alone. I find your face. And your face is everywhere. And when your face is everywhere, that means what? You are everywhere for me. And really speaking, if I am turning around everywhere to look for you and seeing you, that means I am also Vishvato Mukhaha, because I am always looking everywhere, and what is looked at is you, and the looker is also you. The one who is seeing, the seer, is also you. So when the pronoun you brings a certain intimacy in terms of the evolution or the growth of the knowledge, rather than calling it that, tat. Because that tat has to become tvam, in tat tvamasi, correct? This is what here it is. So first tat, then tvam, tat and tvam. So tat tvamasi, tat has become now tvam. And that's why this is very poetic, very esoteric Upanishad. And that's why if you look closely, they make the word asi is hidden here. Tvam stri, tvam pumanasi, tvam kumaraha utava kumari, tvam jirno dandena vanchasi. That asi is there, see? And then bhavasi, tvam jato bhavasi vishvato mukhaha. So that tat tvam asi has come in verses 2 and 3. Very beautiful. Very nice. So you are the youth, you are the maiden, you are an old man who is creeping along with a stick, not a stick, what is that called? Cane. And then, you are the one who wherever I look, I see you alone. And you as though become born into these various forms, and indeed you are that formless one who is manifest in the forms. Then the third one is also beautiful. Neelaha patangaha haritaha lohitakshaha tadidgarbhaha ritavaha samudraha. Various, the first 2 lines are the various manifestations. So many kinds of manifestations, So, Neelaha means what? Blue, correct? Patangaha is a moth. You are a blue moth. So the blue moth that flies around, or butterfly you can take, whatever it is. So the blue moth or butterfly that flies is alone you. Lohitakshaha, because when you look at the moth closely, you see that it has red eyes. Yeah. Red eyes, the butterflies, they have bright kind of, neon eyes. So this red-eyed, blue-tailed moth is alone you. Because looking for Bhagavan, looking at every small thing, beautifully crafted thing as a face of Bhagavan. So this is your avatara. This blue, the blue moth with red eyes is you. And then what? Or you can take the eyes that has a kind of the Hali Dipanyaya, I'll tell you later. Haritaha means the parrot. Green means parrot. You can also take leaves, but since we have talked about moth, we are in the area of flying things. So we take this to be what? A parrot. Haritaha, green parrot. And the red eyes goes for either the moth and or the parrot. That is why it is kept right in the middle. It is called the Hali Dipanyaya. If you put a lamp, a candle on the compound in between 2 walls, 2 houses, which compound will it light up? Both the sides. So here also, the Lohitaksha, the red eyes can belong to the blue moth or the green parrot. So the parrot is you, the moth is you,
And sometimes the birds, I think the idea is the eater is you, the eaten is you. Because sometimes the birds will feast on small insects and flying things. And this way, that this side of the food chain, you, that side of the food chain, also you. And then, what else is you? Tadid garbhaha. Garbhaha means the womb. The womb that has the stricken womb. What is that? Here it means the thunder cloud. The cloud, the two thunder clouds that are filled with water. So the thunder cloud is pregnant with rain, and when it strikes another thunder cloud, the noise comes. And so that thunder cloud, which before giving birth to rain gives birth to lightning, is also you. I don't know what the connection is. From flying things we have gone to thundercloud. I think it's just discrete things here. We shouldn't try too much to look for connections. And then, because now we are going to all kinds of elements and seasons. So Ritavaha, all the seasons are you, the oceans are you, and then what? But who are you really speaking? This is the beauty of this verse. Really speaking, who are you? You are free of all these things. You are anadimat. Anadimat means what? You are free of beginning. Adi, beginning. Anadi, without beginning. Anadimat means free of all beginnings. And the beginningless. Even though you are beginningless, and vibhutvena vartase, you exist, as those entities which have beginning and end. Very nice contradiction. The paradox is given here. Even though essentially speaking, you are free of all beginnings, you are free of all ends, and then what? You exist as that which is subject to change. The form and the name is subject to change, but you alone, don't change at all. The form changes and you take on new forms all over the place and new ways of being without undergoing any change whatsoever. Anadimatvam vibhutvena vartase. And then what? Tvam vibhutvena vartase. Yataha jatani. Yataha means you are that. Yasmat karanat. You are that causeless cause. Jatani, from which bhuvanani vishva, from which all these worlds have been created. You are that causeless cause, that entity, that conscious, limitless entity, that causeless cause from which this entire world of names and forms has been created. So here there is a hint. The hint is to hold that wonderful tension between the objects in the manifestation, in the creation, and the creator, the creative power. The creative power is what is called the feminine Maya, and the creative power gives rise to all these objects in creation, and the objects in creation are not without that which is you, which is that Brahman. That Brahman alone is underlying or is the truth, the content of all names and forms. And the content of all names and forms has not undergone any change in the process of creation. This is what is supposed to be understood here. So it is not parinami karanam. It is vivarta karanam. Vibhu means vividham bhavati. It becomes as though many without undergoing any change. Whereas when you make milk into yogurt, it is parinami. The milk has become yogurt. After that you cannot say, I want some milk for my coffee. It's not going to work. You can have yogurt in your coffee, that's an entirely different thing, and very unsavory thought. But but you can't say milk, come back. Let me extract the milk from the yogurt, because the milk has become the yogurt. But here the Bhagavan has not become the Jagat. This is what is repeatedly talked about here. Bhagavan has not become the Jagat. So what has really happened here? Something very interesting has happened, because there is a part, a facet here in the so-called creative process, that Shakti has undergone a change, correct? That Maya Shakti has undergone a change to quote unquote become the universe, because that Shakti is what is projected. That Shakti is what is, has made itself into the universe. But really speaking, that Shakti is deployed by Bhagavan, is non-separate from Bhagavan, but then while we can say, that Shakti is none other than Bhagavan, we cannot say Bhagavan is none other than the Shakti. Yeah. This is what that creative tension in the process of creation is maintained over here. That knowledge versus the power. The power and the knowledge work together. The power manifests and actually becomes the things in the universe, and the knowledge, wields the power. The power does not wield the knowledge. The power is all knowledge. The knowledge wields the power, because otherwise it will be Frankenstein. This world will be projected however, correct? What, Frankenstein? Is that correct? Yeah. Yeah. It, your own creation becomes a monstrous entity. So, but that's not happening, because it's a infallible process. And a kind of a time release process where according to certain time certain things happen. Why did the dinosaurs become extinct at that time and not now? Because had they been alive, we would have been extinct. Simple, Yeah. Raptors live. That's what it is. So, therefore what? So therefore we have to see this very clearly, that all the extinctions and things that have come into being, things that have been withdrawn, things that went extinct, the things that were always there but just now are being discovered, all this, there is an intelligence there. And the best way to look at it is like a time release capsule, Sometimes for, diabetes and so many other things, and pain management. Some, like if you take an aspirin, finished, it will give you a nice feeling, and then after that, again you are in pain. But certain other things have time release things. Little bit, thoda, whole day it keeps, releasing. Like this, that knowledge is like this time release capsule where in the correct place, certain things, manifest, certain things demanifest, certain people meet each other, certain people greet each other, certain people say to each other, I can't stand you, get away from me, And this is all this part of this wonderful, infallible manifestation. And this is what we are asked to see, that the manifester has not become the manifestation. What is manifest is non-separate from the manifester, but the manifester is all knowledge that is separated from creation, because the creation is as though. If the manifester becomes what is manifest, then the manifester will be as though, and then you cannot say Tattvamasi. You will have to say as though is as though. Then that will be our equation, which makes no sense. So therefore we have to see it in a different way, And then when we look at it like this, then we are hinting towards the looking at, and that's why I love the 4th chapter so much, because it goes into the detail about the process of manifestation. Because there are so many hidden doubts. Did Ishvara become the Jagat? What is the answer? No, we have seen that. Then what about this Maya? Where did she come from? She is non-separate from Ishvara. If she is non-separate from Ishvara, why do we have to reckon her separately? Why do we need to say that there are two kinds of karanams? Two kinds of causes are talked about. One is nimitta karana, the knowledge behind the creation. Behind, don't take it literally, okay? Don't look behind. The knowledge that implies the creation. And then we have, what else? The material. So why do we need to look at the cause from this twofold standpoint? because our eyes are vitiated by duality, because we are in touch with the material that is graspable, but not in touch with a source which is oneself, which is not graspable. Urdhva mulaha avakshakaha. Where we have seen this? Yesterday. Thank you. So, that's what we saw yesterday, same thing. So, the mula, the source is invisible. The source is you. That's why it keeps saying tvam, tvam, tvam. And when you read tvam, you have to say aham, aham, aham. That's the next step. So the source is beyond reach of the mind and the sense organs, beyond reach of the pramanas that I operate. But that doesn't mean it's incomprehensible. It can be comprehended with the help of the right pramana and looked at it properly. It is comprehensible. Okay? So that is what we have to see here. And so then because one is, so to speak, one is studying this from the standpoint of the material world, the duality, so to speak, we have to look at it in this manner. So we have to see nimitta upadana karanam, and then which is nimitta karanam, and then parinami karanam. Parinami karanam and vivarta karanam, or the karana that doesn't undergo any change, and that aspect of the karana which as though undergoes a change, and that which as though undergoes the change is called Maya, because she's a shape-shifting lady. Yeah. So that is what the whole thing is. And the Maya becomes very central to my liberation, because the Maya, although, Maya plays a double game. Yeah. She's all about double, correct? Makes you see double. And in place of one is always seeing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, correct? So Maya makes you see double, and she plays a double game. She's all sweet, sweet, sweet to Ishvara, and she makes Brahman into this all-knowing Ishvara. She makes Brahman into Ishvara, all knowledge, all power. And she makes Jiva into this miserable, ignorant person. She makes Jiva ignorant and Ishvara knowledgeable. That's why she's playing a double game. Double game. And therefore, this is the Maya is taken very seriously, and and that it has to be properly understood. And it is given in the next verse in the form of a very cryptic, esoteric verse. And I'd be interested to see what kind of a translation you have of that, because some of this particular translation is horrendous. Okay, I'm going to read you that just to show you that this is not, that's why the Upanishad has to be properly studied. So, I have a selfish interest, so in reading you the translation as well. But first we will chant the mantra. Ajamekam lohita shukla krishnam.
Ajamekam lohita shukla krishnam.
Bahvih prajaha srijamanam sarupaha. Bahvi prajaha srijamanam sarupaha. Ajohye ko jushamano nushete. Ajohye ko jushamano nushete. Jahatyenam bhukta bhogam ajonyah. Jahatyenam bhukta bhogam ajonyah. Yeah, what is your translation? Somebody read.
There is one unborn Prakriti, red, white, and black,
Okay.
which gives birth to many creatures like itself.
Okay.
An unborn individual soul becomes attached to it and enjoys it, while another unborn individual soul leaves it after his enjoyment is completed.
Okay, that's a very enlightened translation compared to what I have. You want to listen to this one? There is a single capital F, female, red, white and black, who is unoriginated and who produces numerous offsprings resembling herself. By her side lies one unborn capital M, male, out of attachment for her, while another capital M, male, also unoriginated, forsakes her after having enjoyed her. Ayyo Rama. This is what we call Max Muller. Max Muller would have translated it like that. Yeah, Max Muller would have translated it like that because this is what those early Orientalists did. The Orientalists did that alone. What did they do? They just made everything. Made everything literally, and look at the grammar, and this is coming from the human mind. Women are fickle. They keep leaving the men. This is what it is. A human mind, probably a man's mind, thinking like this, the colonial Victorian man's mind, and so these are the kinds of things that have influenced these kinds of translation. So then, how many ajas are there here? Aja means unborn. How many things unborn here are there? First, even though it says eka, one, actually it discusses three. We can say four. What is the fourth one? Ajaha also means goat. Okay.
Mine actually says goat.
Oh, read that translation. Let's hear the goatee translation.
One he-goat, which has red, white, and black colors, and which gives birth to many offsprings of its own kind.
Many kids, yeah.
Another he-goat, the individual soul, leaves her when she has been enjoyed.
Yeah, this is the problem. Yeah. This is why I keep saying do not read the translations, because I don't want people to get put off. Yeah, already one is put off because one feels I'm studying and I'm not making any progress. Already one feels put off, and this is a royal put off. Yeah, this is a horribly royal big put off, and so what happens here? Nothing happens if you read the translation. So let us look at it word by word. From the standpoint of Advaita Vedanta, Ajam Ekam, Ajam female here, Ekam Ajam, so we'll say Eka Aja, we'll see, even though it's used as an object in the sentence, let us look at it just as a subject. So what is being talked about? Eka Aja, who is of three colors. A three-colored unborn one. So this is very clear. There's only one thing that is unborn, which is the cause, right? And so here the cause has differentiated into three colors. And the feminine noun here is Maya, and the Maya has always a palette, correct? A three-colored palette. What is that? Gunas. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Now which color is what? Lohita, red. Which is that? Rajas. Krishna, black. Tamas. Shukla, white. Sattva. So these are the palettes of this Aja. So she is also Aja, because she is Anadi. Bhagavan is also Anadi. She is also Anadi. In fact, there is only one Anadi. Bhagavan's Anaditvam is non-separate from everything else. Her Anaditvam is non-separate from Bhagavan's Anaditvam. But she has a special feature. What is her feature? She is able to wield a palette of various colors, and she paints the sunset. She paints the leaves. Each leaf that is falling, in the fall is painted by her. Nice little strokes here and there and everything, everywhere. And she paints everything. She paints the individual minds with restlessness, with devotion. And what's the other thing? With tamas. Why should I study? What will happen? Nothing will happen. So many people in the world are not studying Vedanta. Aren't they fine? These are the questions that suddenly come up. Yeah, even though suddenly these questions will come up. What are they? They're not missing anything. They are fine. So why should I study? And these are all these, tamas-ridden questions. And so from the individual mind to the whole collective, the whole Maya with these three colors, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, paints this universe. And the paints are very special. Why are the paints special? The paints are special because they never run color and they don't become old. They are always fresh. Like if you look at the Sistine Chapel, yeah, they had to, do a new, they had to retouch it recently because it's all getting faded. Same thing with all the medieval, Monet and all these works, the kind of paints that were used at that time, they are fading. They have to be touched up. These paints used by Maya are ever fresh. That's the first characteristic of these paints. Sattva, Rajastam, the gunas don't ever get stale. They don't need refrigeration. They don't need preservatives. It's organic paints, through which the whole universe is crafted and made colorful. And then the second unique feature about these gunas is that they are not only paint, but they are also a trap. Yeah, they're a trap. There was one movie made in Iran. I forgot its name, but it was a very interesting movie from the standpoint of Vedanta. And you know what it was? It was this whole family of carpet weavers. And they are some kind of a nomadic. You saw that one?
I've heard that.
Yeah. So there's this nomadic family. They're living in small tents, and then they go where the sheep goes. They go behind the sheep, and then they shear the sheep, and they get the wool and color the wool and make the carpet. And the carpet doesn't have really any kind. It's not the kind of carpets that you see in the big shops, which is all symmetry and patterns and repeating patterns and colors, tiles and this thing. Here, it's just extempore. So they make it. And then this particular family is not getting along very nicely. The daughter feels like she's in a prison. She's trapped and she's, completely shut down, a teenage daughter. And the mother feels like she's just kind of gone. She's not even there. She's suffering so much, all because of this alcoholic husband and his brother, it's a joint family. They're all living together. So there's this alcoholic husband and his no good brother who's like a petty time thief. And then, and this fellow is alcoholic. And then there is the mother and the daughter, and there is the son who is occasionally okay, but sometimes he's just gone. Whenever they start fighting, he picks up and goes. And then there is a grandmother, and who is nagging all the time, the mother-in-law of the mother, who's nagging all the time. And so they all go together, this dysfunctional family, to wash the wool, because after it's dyed, it has to be washed. Because if it's not washed, it will not even out, the weaving will not be even. So they have to wash it repeatedly. And the grandmother, who is a very cantankerous lady, but at the same time, she's very fit for her age. And she's, cursing the daughter-in-law while she's beating the wool on the ground. And then she's saying, look, I'm 25 years older than you, and look, I am able to do this, and you are always malingering with a cold or doing something all the time. It's just all the time, whatever. And the daughter is has frozen in her, in her life. And then, and each of them are doing this creative process. And this is very interesting because they create this, so the daughter starts first weaving this carpet, and she makes a small figure, trapped inside a house, because she's talking about herself. And then the mother comes and says, horrible design. Unravels this, because she wants to portray herself. So she portrays herself with all the other 5 family members as big alligators out to eat her. And the daughter then says, the daughter then reweaves the part about the house and her. So the daughter is trapped in the house and the mother is trapped outside, with the alligators now facing the house and the mother, both. And the daughter is looking out, the figure is looking out of the window. The grandmother comes and weaves the other layer where everyone else is useless and, like this. And then, the carpet starts to take on its own reality. At first, the carpet was just a mere expression of their realities, but then very soon, the carpet has its own reality which traps them in it. So by night time they weave, they don't know what they have weaved, and in the morning they look at it and they are frightened because they see it as a prophecy. I've forgotten all the other things, but they see it as a prophecy of what is to come. Like in the night, the daughter or the son weaves a big accident. Some kind of a collision of the bullock cart with something else and everything. And the mother gets very frightened. Like, they go to the market to sell and everything, and so maybe they'll have an accident. And so like this. So first the carpet was a journal, right? It was a sheep journal made of the fleece of the sheep, Then what? It did a number on them. Yeah. What did it do? It trapped them inside that square. That is what the gunas are. First, red, white, yellow, blue, wonderful. But the one who says wonderful is wonderfully trapped. This is what the whole thing is. So that paint, the sattva, rajas, tamas has two different qualities. The first one is what? Ever fresh, ever new, because it is Brahman. Never grows old, ever new, ever present. And the next quality is that it has an entrapping quality. In other words, the three gunas are nothing but the time-space matrix in which anyone who is painted anyone who goes inside cannot come out very easily. Is totally stuck like this. So this is the whole situation. This is the whole kind of a situation. And in this situation, that's why it is that Eka Aja Lohita Krishna Shukla Varna, Lohita Shukla Krishna Varna. And then what? What does this Eka do? This Eka, next line, Bhakvi Prajaha Srijamanam Sarupaha. So, in accordance with the laws of that Brahman, which is all knowledge, so Prajaha means people, not offspring. Praja is not offspring. Praja is all kinds of creations. So all kinds of things are created. All kinds of things are created. All kinds of, let us say, Praja here means, we have to take it literally. Prakarshena jayate, born as though out of magic, Praja. So born out of magic, what is it that is created? Because Brahman is not created. And if all the truth of all the names and forms are Brahman, what is it that is created? The container for these various manifestations of Brahman is created. Many containers, as though containers for Brahman, are created through these threefold paints. And once the paints are there, then the consciousness, which is in the form of various upadhis are created, and the consciousness, as though sitting in them, feels entrapped. The consciousness sitting inside the upadhi says, I am male, I am female. I don't know if I am male or female. Yeah. And I have an identity crisis. I am small, I am big, I am young, I am old, I am sick. I'm sad, I'm restless, I'm fearful. I feel neglected, I feel abandoned, I feel left out, I feel unloved. These are all the identities. And that those identities come from the various permutation and combinations of the gunas put in certain way. This is what all the identities are. And these identities, are because that the power, has given a name and form to this consciousness, to the manifestations. And so that is a very important power. And so she herself is the paint, and so that's why we say it is parinami upadana karanam, meaning she undergoes a change because she as though becomes each manifestation. And so therefore here there is a two ways of relating to her. Simultaneous ways of relating to her, relating to this entrapment, reacting to this entrapment. And what are the two ways? The two ways is Ekaha Ajaha Jushamanaha Anushete. Jushamanaha, although here it means being attached, it's not being attached. Jushamana means to serving Maya. Very interesting. Bhajate. Jushate. Jushati is bhajate. Bhaja sevayam. So serving this Prakriti, Prakriti here means that is which is constantly changeable. So serving Prakriti, one person becomes a slave of this Prakriti. Serving her all the time, in service of her, what does he do? Anushete. Anushete means sleeps the sleep of ignorance. Although he is serving Maya, which is all knowledge, he sleeps the sleep of ignorance through wrong identification. He means the jiva. He, she sleeps the sleep of ignorance through misidentification. Thinking that, when you believe in the upadhi, those paints, like the family of the carpetiers, they believed that they were trapped in the carpets and the carpet is weaving its own self and telling their stories, and so they got very frightened and sad and they lost all sense of agency and logic. Correct? They became irrational. And so here too, the person believing in the upadhi starts to feel that the mind is leading me. What are you going to do tomorrow? I don't know. Let us see how I feel. What do you mean? Let us see how you feel. What feelings are, fleeting. No. I just don't know. Let us see how I feel. If I feel like doing that, I'll do that. If I don't feel like doing that, I won't do that. And then what? Tomorrow comes and then I don't have any plans and I'm restless and I don't know what to do. And Rajas has taken over and say, okay, I'm under the spell of Rajas. Before I was just restless. Now I know a new word called Rajas. And now I say, I'm under the spell of Rajas. I'm under the spell of Tamas. And some people are like that. They'll say, I don't know if I'm meant to do this or I'm meant to do that. What do you mean by meant to do? You have hands and legs, you have willpower, move them. Make some choices. No, I don't think I'll make a choice. Isn't that a choice? Yes, it is a choice. Not making a choice is a choice. It's not a default. Even defaulting is a choice. I choose to default. And so here, this is what is talked about, is that believing in the upadhi as not as something that is here to serve me. The upadhi is here to serve me. The mind is here to serve my quest for moksha, for example, or any quest. Whether it's relative or absolute. The mind is here to serve me, but I start serving the mind. I start serving the body. That is why it is called Prakriti Seva, where constantly I'm putting lotions and potions and all kinds of things and trying to make the impermanent permanent. This is what the problem is. That is what Anushete means. Sleeps in Anu means in accordance. In accordance to what was already planned. What was the plan? This entrapment, this as though entrapment is part of this plan for this jiva who is not yet released. So his own karma, her own karma has planned this entrapment, and because of this karma, this entrapment is as though. So this as though entrapment, by misidentifying one as the body-mind-sense complex rather than that which indwells the body-mind-sense complex, one sleeps the sleep of ignorance, timeless ignorance. And then, yet there is hope, because we can't stop at this, inauspicious note. Even if it is already time, I will take a few minutes to address the hope. What is the hope? The last line. Jahati enam bhukta bhogam ajaha anyaha. So the third aja, now we have discussed the two ajas, the so-called third one. Is there a third one? No. The third one is from the standpoint of the one who is looking at the one who has become sad and trapped inside the upadhi. So the one that is watching says what? You are not that. In fact, you can do whatever you want, but I am free of both. That aja which is creating, keeps on creating all these, upadhis, and neither I am the creator of the upadhis, nor or the manifester of the upadhis, nor am I trapped in the upadhis. Who I am? Bhukta bhogaha. Bhukta bhogaha means kritakrityaha. Krishna karma krit means I am fulfilled. Whatever bhogas are there, what is there? I have eaten all of them, I have sampled all of them, I have done everything that needs to be done. I don't need anything anymore. And then how do you come out of this entrapment? That is the last line. Tyajati, what does it tyajati? It leaves. Jahati, what does it jahati? Enam jahati. It rebels against the gunas. Enam is here. Slohita Shukla Krishnam Ekam Ajam, that first line. It rebels against the ignorance which is cemented by the gunas. It rebels against the ignorance that is cemented by the three gunas, by this Maya which is all ignorance. It repudiates its association with that. And then what does it say? It says, I am separate from all of that and I have given you up. So in other words, it calls the spoof of Maya. How? We shall see some other time. Oh, not bad. Exactly 7. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Any questions? Yes.
Okay. Just words that are used similarly but not. So the Maya Shakti, we call it what is projected, but it's actually the power.
Yeah.
It's the power.
Yes.
That, is it the same as potential? I'm back to Hiranyagarbha.
The Hiranyagarbha is the masculine name for that power.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No problem with
And
that.
then we talk about that this is, when the power is there, there's a process of manifestation, which leads to creation, or manifestation and creation. We say you can de-manifest, but you can't de-create.
Yeah, that's
So-
why, because manifest means it's not real, it's a manifestation. Manifest, de-manifest, like even your dream, like it's like a dream.
But we use the word create also.
Not really, mostly manifest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of these are as those anyway.
Yes.
So probably the Sanskrit terms wouldn't cause this internal squabble in here?
No, it's all as though. But this is talking about how there is one part of me, within me, that identifies with this body-mind-sense complex and as a result suffers, while at the same time, the one that is separated, that viveka, that witness consciousness, that sakshi, is separate and is able to watch this identification. So even if someone says, I'm having a meltdown, they're not really having a meltdown, they're observing someone having themselves having a meltdown. So the observer is there and the observer is observing this lamentation, correct? And the lamentation is caused by the gunas. So all three are shown, two at the level of the individual and the third one at the level of the collective. So in this whole setup, it's a particular way of looking at it so that you know how to come out of it and what you need to give up. You need to give up tending to the impermanent as though it is permanent, whether believing in the feelings or seeing the body as the I, or the mind as the I, or the body mind as the I. That is what is talked about. Yeah.
In there you use the word sakshi.
Sakshi, witness.
Ah,
Without which one is witless. That's all.
thank you.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Tomorrow, dark and early, at 7:30 in the morning.